What? I'm back. I am so excited to talk to you guys. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about my rebrand. I have felt MIA the past couple of weeks and maybe even months, mainly because I am trying to just truly organize my life. I'm going to keep this really simple for you guys, really short, hopefully. But I just want to give you guys some of my heart behind the rebrand as the website is getting close to being launched. Maybe even when you watch this, the website might already be launched. But I'm just really excited for it, and I feel congruent, and I feel settled, and I feel confident in my way forward. And I feel, did I already say congruent? If I didn't say congruent, I'm going to say congruent again because I feel congruent. Okay. But I want to first off explain to you how I see you guys still fitting in on the rebrand. I want to make it very clear, one, why I appreciate you sticking around, and two, why I see you as a real world leader. And that is part of my subtitle. I went from like very crunchy athlete-esque to now just my name and being able to brand my name. And then also my subtitle being performance coach for real world leaders. And so there's obviously portions of that phrase I'm going to quickly break down for you. And we'll get there in this video. But I want to first just explain and reiterate like where I came from and like how did I build the crunchy athlete idea and how we're transitioning that. So if you guys don't know my personal story is that in 2019, like everybody who gets newly married, you don't have any other reason to not get on hormonal birth control. So I got on hormonal birth control, but I was having some short-term memory loss, and I started learning things about big pharma. I started learning things about medications, and I was obviously going through traditional academics and education and learning about strength and conditioning and exercise science, and none of these topics were being brought up. We were not talking about hormonal birth control. We were talking about other medications, but maybe not that. And so I started learning that there was just a big gap in information in regards to women's fitness and women's health. And the vacuum happened on social media. Women started flocking and saturating the fitness space on social media, which, like, thank God that that happened originally because women are getting information. I would argue now women are probably more confused than ever, unfortunately, about fitness information, but at least it's out there and people can start making their own informed decisions about health and exercise and food. And so I was kind of part of that wave because I did have traditional academic backgrounds in being a strength coach and having that experience of coaching a lot of people. And I just had like a lot of anecdotal experience. What ended up happening was I filled that space online, but I was still coaching in person, obviously, with the military and with Division I athletics. And what was happening in my regular like networking life is people would start asking for my business cards or for my website, and I would be like, this is not going to make sense to you. It's all like very female based. It's very like general population female based, not necessarily like athletic based. And so that was becoming like a major tension point for me because I felt like I was growing at work, but I was like being like stunted in the eyes of regular strength conditioning, stunted because my social media was for women and my website was for women. And so, I just had to kind of work through that. And obviously that, and me just still being a military spouse, me still having to figure out what my like phases of life look like. My husband and I don't have kids yet, but we would love children at some point. And so am I really going to be working these crazy strength and conditioning hours like in person for the military when that comes? Probably not. And obviously my husband's had deployments and he's coming back from deployments, and you're just transitioning and it's just like crazy. And so what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to build something that checks all of those boxes for me. It checks the box of working with the women who I really enjoy, you ladies who have stuck with me for a long time. It's checking the box of giving a reputable brand to my networking that happens on a daily, weekly, monthly basis at my regular work. It helps me not look like unemployed if I ever were to step down from my job, to become more of like a work from home or work from home mom. And so I had to take all of those things and combine them into one brand. And so that is what you have now. Kelsey Moore, performance coach for real world leaders. And so let's just break that down really quick. So performance coach, what is a performance coach? Basically, it's just like optimizing every single aspect of your life to achieve your fitness goals. That is performance. And so it's one thing to like look at your life through a health lens, like you're hitting the bare minimum, you're hitting like the bare standard, your fitness goals, like the absolute minimum. And I understand there's a time and place for that, like hit the bare minimums because your phase of life is just so crazy. But the reality is everybody could have an excuse of time, how much resources you have, or even healthy food. And I understand that there is a time and place for that. However, I'm a performance coach. At heart, right? I want to challenge people, men and women, to go after big goals, big dreams, because when you go for slightly out of reach goals, you learn so much more about yourself. What this new phase of your training will look like is the biggest transition for you ladies specifically is I'm going to go from like a team-based Train Heroic programming, meaning like you're all on the Crunchy Athlete programming and I'm programming on the team calendar every week, to now you being able to personally choose what program you want to be on, and it will be on your personal calendar. So logistically, what that looks like is when I make that transition for you, I'm going to have at least 12 weeks of the Crunchy Athlete program. That's like the name of the actual program. It's going to go Crunchy Athlete 1. 12 weeks of that ready for you on an access code, and you guys will put that in on your calendar. And then once you're done with those 12 weeks, you will transition. Then you can choose another program that I have available like in my database. So from there, you can choose a 12-week half marathon program. You can choose, I'll have a 12-week first trimester pregnancy program. I'll have maybe a couch to 5K program. I'll have a bodybuilding program. I'll have XYZ. Obviously, I'm going to be, expanding that Rolodex of programs, but you will then personally choose what you want on your calendar. And the reason why that is beneficial for me as a coach is because now I can not only provide programs to my crunchy women, but I can also on that Rolodex include programs that a lot of male athletes need in the military setting. So it's just like a giant database. Like maybe they're gearing up towards Ranger School, or maybe they're gearing up towards like Airborne School, or maybe they're gearing up towards going to the Fire Academy or something like that. I can write like a 12-week program and have that as an accessed program for them within that giant Rolodex. And so all of the members will have access to all of those access codes. It will be on a Google sheet that will be shared to you, and you will choose what you want, which is wonderful. And you can choose your start date, like let's say you sign up for a 5K and you want to do like an 8-week 5K program that I write, you can actually count back 8 weeks and put it on as like day one. You can choose your own day one, which is super helpful in my opinion as like a user interface. So let's keep going through that phrase, right? Like performance coach for real world leaders. And you ladies are probably like, wow, like I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a homeschool mom. Or maybe you do live and work in corporate, or maybe you do like a plethora of things. Women, what that means to me is that you are leading by example. If you are in a position to lead by example, AKA you're not a passive participant in society, you are an active participant in society, that applies to you. Real world just means like you're doing the dang thing. You are leading as an example because you are a mom, maybe you're a teacher, maybe you are a businesswoman, maybe you're a realtor, and you are having to be an example as an employee or as a peer or as a parent or whatever it is. Like you are a leader in my book. I hope you feel really included in that. And another aspect of this is, transitioning that, Train Heroic does wonderful things in regards to like how the programming is set up. But in regards to the community aspect, we probably all know that the chat function is like pretty clunky. And so I am providing a Discord channel that I will drop and give you guys. Now, what that means is that I will have a main base channel where you can send me videos for a form check. You can now send me videos. I can give you comments. You guys will have like a running feed. I'll have like a female only feed if you guys like feel better about that. You guys can have a chat in there. You guys can post favorite recipes. Everything is much more organized, like within its own threads, which hopefully will give a sense of community in your own pocket of like what type of leadership you are espousing to. Like if you're the mom, if you're the businesswoman, like there will be different pockets of people. There will be an all member one for like all of my clients. Another big like bombshell thing that I'm working on is I'm taking personal clients. Now, obviously, the membership is going to be the affordable option at $35 a month. That is staying the same. But if you are reaching for a bigger goal, like if you are a true amateur athlete client and you want that personalized accountability, the personalized coaching, macronutrients, weekly check-ins, monthly phone calls, like true accountability, I have my elite one-on-one performance coaching opening up. And if that is you and you have an interest in it, I want you to go on my website and schedule a strategy session with me. And that's that free 15-minute phone call that I have available. And I want you to just start thinking about, is that a spring marathon? Maybe that's a Spartan race, or maybe that's an Olympic weightlifting competition. And I know for probably a lot of you that sounds like, dang, that's like really out of reach. That's really scary. I just want to challenge you. Like if you have had ever like a lifelong goal of doing a marathon, or maybe doing an ultra marathon, or you want to do, a triathlon or something that's a little bit scary, I want you to have a strategy session with me because I am taking on clients and this is a perfect time to hop on and I'm really excited about it. And so if you have any questions about anything that I talked about today, please send me an email, send me a message on Instagram. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm leaving you behind. If anything, like we're transitioning together. I'm just excited that you're here to see it all. I always like appreciate all the support and everything. But yeah, okay. Have a wonderful day. Bye.